Hey yo, it's Dominic D'Angelo. It's Rumor and Innuendo, and it is a Monday. You are stuck with me, DPD. Paul is my middle name, if anybody's curious. Hope you guys had a Merry Christmas, happy holiday week. Mine was very nice. I got out of Pittsburgh and visited my sister and three nephews who are not wrestling fans. And so it was really, really cool. I had a good time and hung out with some family, had a couple drinks. Did I do anything else really neat or anything crazy? No, I just took it easy. Took it easy. I watched Frankenstein on Netflix, which was great. The Guillermo del Toro Frankenstein. Uh, tell you what, big time baby face, Frankenstein's monster in that movie. Ultimate baby face in that. So check it out if you want a new fun take on what a classic Mary Shelley story that is. So shout out to Guillermo del Toro in Netflix for what was a really good movie. I also watched Four Brothers. I'm not a big movie watcher. I don't really have the time or like kind of focus to sit down and watch a movie. Once I do watch a movie, I get into the zone, but it takes some effort to really do it. It takes really amount of effort to just sit down, watch a movie, and just hone in on it. But once I do, I'm in the groove of it. But saw Four Brothers. If anybody's ever seen that, that's with Mark Wahlberg, Tyrese Gibson. I forgot about him. Andre 3000, who was great. And then some kid I didn't know, but it was a really good movie. The guy that played Black Panther was the villain in it. So it was good stuff too. Yeah, wild movie though. Very much more action packed than what I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be like a really like kind of low key drama that builds suspense, but there's a lot of action throughout it. So, fun movie, different good stuff. So, people are rubbing it in. Let's say hi to some folks to the chat here. Cammy, she says, "Welcome R&I brothers to the magic time of the year where no one knows what day it really is. Let's hope the brands know what day it is. Yes, let's hope." We'll preview Raw here in just a little bit. Obviously, we got to go over at World's End and everything as well. Jeff Henninger says, "Welcome back, R&I." Yeah, we took basically the week off. You know, last time we had a show was on last Monday. So hope everybody enjoyed some wrestling content that they got throughout the weeks. Not a lot really went down, to be honest, besides the pay-per-view. So we'll cover that. Yes, Devin Dowling rubs it in, says, "Dom, my Niners are freaking amazing, dude. I bet the Chicago Bears to win last night." I like the Niners, though. I do like the Niners. I like Brock Purdy a lot. And they're just a scrappy team. Robert Saleh, I will root for him, even though, you know, he didn't do as well with the Jets. But he's a good dude and great defensive coordinator. So a lot to like about the 49ers. I might make it my Super Bowl pick. Maybe I'll bet on them. Geez, Devin, you're a bad influence indirectly. Wrestling Olet says, "Welcome back, R&I. Hope everyone had a beautiful holiday." Yes. Hope everybody did. Johnny Disco chiming on in. Good day, R&I. Happy Monday, I think. Yes, it is a Monday. Cammy, how windy is it in your area of the greater Pittsburgh region? It is so windy right now. I was walking back from Starbucks and man, I almost got knocked off my feet by the wind, and that's not a joke. Yeah, all the days do blend together. So, yes, he did. That's a great. I'm not going to butcher his name, but Black Panther channeled Denzel Washington as the villain for brother. Yes, he did. Yes, he did for sure. SmackDown for a tape show was pretty fun. Yeah, I didn't watch it, so can't really speak to SmackDown. It was kind of not to. It was nice to get away from wrestling a little bit, to be honest. I did sit in on the Kevin Nash podcast when we recorded on Friday. That episode's up now, by the way. It just dropped. So Kevin Nash has a crazy airline story that is wrestling related. You have to tune in. You will not believe what happened to Kev on his flight back from Pittsburgh, who I did hang out with while he was here. So, but a wild, unbelievable story. I could not believe that this actually happened to him. So tune into that. Go to click this and check that out. Also tonight, live. Oh my gosh. Congrats to Rob Van Dam and Katie Forbes. They had their twins on Friday, the day after Christmas. And so happy for both of them, obviously. And man, yes, very exciting to hear about Rob and Katie. Rob actually made the announcement that the girls were delivered on December 26th. And so that has caught the Wrestling News Wire. So because of that, Rob will not be recording this week. But guess what? Guess who's going to be joining me tonight for the latest episode of One of a Kind with RVD? This week's episode will be none other than Bill Apter. Bill Apter will be joining me for a live stream tonight. Go to rvdtv.com and tune in. It should be a very, very fun show. I'm excited to get Apter's perspective on Rob because he's really good friends with Rob. But on top of that, too, I'm interested to get his thoughts on ECW and how that whole era kind of impacted him and him being in the wrestling dirt sheet slash magazine, the Apter Mags and stuff. So really excited to have Bill Apter join me tonight. Will be a really, really fun conversation. I'll also try to get some of his thoughts on the current product too. So tune in live. Go to rvdtv.com tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So an earlier start time than what Rob and I usually go to. So check it out. And please support the show. If you have not subscribed to that channel, do it when you can here. rvdtv.com. You'll be helping me and Rob out big time. Good stuff. Take us Saba. Yes, Karma and Saba are the girls' names, and Saba is appropriately named after Sabu. Very bittersweet. Sabu passed away in May, and then later that week, Rob and Katie figured out that that Katie was pregnant. So how about that, huh? So they decided to tip the cap to Sabu for Saba. Yes, Rob Van Dad now. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. It's always scary with a blood pressure spike when waiting for a baby. That's how a boy child made his entry. Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah. Twins usually arrive early, which I did not know. And that's typical for twins. So Katie had like a little blood pressure spike, I believe a couple weeks before they were due or before the plan was. And so they kept her in the hospital and monitored her until she was ready to deliver the baby. So great that they were on top of everything with that. So really cool stuff. Congrats to Rob and Katie. I love both. So it's awesome. All right. Wrestling. Let's talk it. I did watch some at World's End, and I have some thoughts. I think it's a good move that MJF is your new AEW World Champion. I think it provides some more options that Hangman wasn't doing, and for the title. And I think it just is too soon to maybe put it back on Swerve without anything really super intriguing going on with him at the time. And then on top of it, Joe is. I don't want to call him the transitional champion because he should have been more than that, to be honest. But he was great for the role and what it was. So it leaves a lot of questions. I think this pay-per-view leaves open a lot of questions, and in somewhat good but somewhat bad fashion, I think. And I'll explain. I do think that Moxley winning the Continental Classic was good. However, and his promo was good after the fact. It was babyface, so they're turning him babyface, which like Moxley should be there. The Death Riders angle should be over and done with. I do think they missed some opportunities doing this and creates a lot of confusion going forward too. Are the Death Riders baby faces now? Is it just Moxley? Will the Death Riders turn on Moxley? I think they missed an opportunity with Claudio. Claudio was an afterthought in this whole Continental Classic tournament, where this should have been an opportunity to elevate Claudio further. You could have told a story. I don't think you could have continued a feud with Takeshita and Okada by having them cancel one another out maybe in the tournament, or something happening to both of them where they cannot move to the finals. And then you cultivate and continue a feud with them. I was okay with how Okada beat Takeshita by cheating. I thought that was fine and clever. And a basic wrestling philosophy, storytelling philosophy that moves the feud forward. That doesn't give you a complete and utter finish. But I do think you also kind of eliminate a little bit of the allure of having those two face one another and making it really, really feel special when you just did it now in a tournament. So uh, I'm not ultimately for how they handled that, but whatever. I am more so think it was a missed opportunity to move somebody like Claudio forward and move forward, maybe having John Moxley be babyface, Death Rider's turn on Moxley. Maybe that's still in the cards, but it's not going to feel as impactful as if you had Claudio and him go at it one on one and maybe in the finals, and then something really happened after the fact. Uh, what the hell is going on with this Continental Championship now? So the unified title is no more, and we have the Continental title. Is the international title back? What's the deal with that? Is it just solely the Continental Championship now, and you're getting rid of that other aspect of it because too many titles? It not this past conference call with Tony Khan, but the one before. I asked him about. I asked him. Did I ask him about? Yeah, this past we had the conference call that Monday after I got off with Robert here. I hopped on the conference call with Tony Khan and wrote in my question asking about the titles, the state of the unified championship. Tony Khan happened to say that this will be for the Continental Championship, and he mentioned how there was the unified championship before with the tag team titles. I think in another promotion from yesteryear. Can't remember what promotion he cited, but he was like he liked that aspect of it and did not. I could not follow up because I wrote it in, and but I wanted just a clear cut answer on what was the state of you're getting the Continental Championship, and then what's the status of the rest of the championships? What is at stake for this Continental Championship? And so he gave me an answer, but it wasn't like a clear cut answer. I was so confused still by the end of this, and I'm still confused after the pay per view, unless somebody happened to hear something that I didn't on the pay per view. So Wrestling All That has a hot take. Moxley winning the C2 was actually a great story from what I picked out and had to dig. LOL. I don't think it was a bad thing. I think Moxley is a better babyface for the company. I do. I really do. And this Death Riders angle sucked. It sucked, and it sucked even more, and it continued to suck. So they needed to get rid of it, and it's still here, but in a weird fashion. What is the state? What is the state of so many of these personalities and stuff like that as we move forward? As far as the main event goes, like I said, I'm all for MJF having the title. He gives Rumored and you. Oh my god, I just said the show. He gives AEW a kick in the ass where it's needed, and I like nobody else could provide that at this moment in time. Like Swerve or Joe may be the closest. Hangman did not do that. Hangman, they have to he's got to go back and like reassess what got him over. And I don't think it's a lot that is it. You got to give him a sense of humor, and you have to allow him to embrace that and not be so serious. Like serious Hangman is a boring Hangman. He really is. I like the aspect where he was conflicted with drinking, but he was still kind of like fun. Like he would drink and then like beat somebody's ass, and then it was a good way to use Hangman. He was kind of the wild card of the elite in a lot of ways back when, and that's what made him fun. But he was legitimate and like, hey man, you got to take this guy seriously, even though he's like kind of wild and out there. Like you don't have that right now. I think Hangman needs a transformation, and I would do it. I would maybe have him go away, maybe for a little bit, and then bring him back, or maybe not. But I would definitely have him have a big change either way. Heel Hangman, no. Babyface Hangman, yes. Keep him on your babyface side of things. Lighten him up a little bit. Like make him fun again, because Hangman this has not been good for him, I don't think. Oh, see, I didn't even know. See, I had to leave. I didn't listen to the whole press conference. 1 second, I'm turning on the light. I didn't listen to the whole media call, so Kevin's question came after mine did. And so I didn't get to catch that. That's a shame. But yes, it does seem like there was a report that Danhausen WWE has some interest in Danhausen. And you know what? I don't blame him. I would have interest in. You could definitely use a Danhausen in WWE, like in NXT, or like on SmackDown as a weird presence. Like you could definitely do some good stuff. Um, Devin, I believe some media outlets. Maybe I should start doing this. Geez, I should really start doing this. Actually, is airing the media calls. Like Fightful has it up. I know they're the one. I'm not sure who else has it, but I definitely know Fightful does. Yeah. Devin says Hangman is Magnum TA if he was boring, right? Magnum, I go back and watch a Magnum TA promo, and he speaks with like conviction and like is like really Hangman should study Magnum TA, like he should, and like not be a carbon copy of him, but put his own spin on what that is, because man, that's somebody you can like no doubt had fire behind him and was able to create hot, and Dusty Rhodes saw that too, obviously. So um, Johnny Disco. Yes, there were so many people with the titles in this tournament. I know some were non AEW titles, but still made it feel like, why are they in this tournament? No, but I don't give a crap about any of the titles except the AEW World Championship and like the women's tag team titles right now. That's it. Like, because the women's tag team titles are new and there's still like a freshness to them, and like they don't have a bad track record. Everything else is just like, ugh, I don't care. I don't care about the TNT championship, sadly, which was one of the coolest championships in all of wrestling when it first debuted, because they protected it. They protected the championship. They were very particular about when that title changed hands. And anybody that held that title felt like a big deal. From Darby Allin to Cody Rhodes to Brody Lee to I'm trying to think who else held that back then. But those were like the three primary ones that I would really think about back then. And now it's just like they get tossed around like a hot potato. It's a shame. It's a real shame. AEW had something special with that, both those, and now it doesn't feel significant anymore. And those tag team, I watched that tag team street fight, just felt like an afterthought with FTR and the Bang Bang Gang. I'll touch upon the Bang Bang Gang here in just a second, though, because while that felt like an afterthought, I don't think those two should feel like afterthoughts. And I mean Austin Gunn and Juice Robinson, particularly Austin Gunn. What MJF presents in the main event scene makes you think of what AEW needs on its product. You need personalities. You need charisma. You need people that are great on the mic. Who is great on the mic, who's got charisma, and who's got a look is Austin Gunn. Give him a singles run. Just ride with him. And because the thing with Austin Gunn too is he has not been elevated to a point where he's been there and then they pulled him back. He's been a tag team champion with his brother. He's been like a popular mid-card act. But if you promote him and make him feel like one of your next bigger stars, there's opportunity there. There's opportunity there. And like, he's funny. He's got charisma. He's got in-ring talent. And there's a lot that you can do with somebody like Austin Gunn. I think that is somebody that, and like, he's a legacy star, so, and he's been with the company nearly since almost the beginning, it feels like. So that's somebody like, he's an AEW original. And so I would really, really put my chips behind Austin Gunn and give him a singles run. Find what works for him, what his interests are, what he wants to cultivate as a personality, and promote that to the gills when you can. Yeah, man, I forgot TNT champion was Scorpio Sky. I liked Scorpio Sky, and there was an opportunity to make him feel like a big deal with that title, but they didn't. Made it feel like an afterthought. And that seems like almost when they started pushing the TNT championship to the wayside. It's a shame. It's a darn shame that Tony Khan did not see the value of having like just a few titles, because that's what made it really different from WWE. Is like every title really meant something. Who were your tag team champions? Who was your TNT championship? Who was your AEW women's champion? There was a lot that went back for it. Oh, that's right. Sammy Guevara was another one that had the title too. But yeah, I just think while some of this, I think they kind of corrected course with this World's End pay-per-view, but I don't think they really answered a lot of questions. And like and it's not from an intriguing standpoint of, ooh, what's next? It's like, what's going on? That's what it is. It's not what's next. It's what the hell's going on here. And so AEW's got some work to do, as they always do. It's a shame. Listen, I hate to like, and oh man, we're gonna talk about this, but I hate to like trash like AEW. Like it was a good show. I think they did some right things, but there's just so many holes and questions that are left unanswered of this product that you know needs to refine its value and its identity. There's nothing that makes AEW stand out. Listen, I'm a New York Jets fan. I have been one, a beleaguered one since 1998. That's what? How many years is that? 20, 26 years? No, more than that, 27 years. I've been a New York Jets fan for 27 years. And now that franchise has zero identity. The only thing that they have is that they're a crappy football team. I love Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn was a great player for the New York Jets. He's now their head coach, but he has lost the plot. There is like there's questions that he lost the locker room. It seems like he's lost the locker room. I loved who he was as like a player and the mentality that he had because he had that Bill Parcells kind of identity, but whatever is going on there, it doesn't seem to be working. And like as much as I love Aaron Glenn and I want him to be like the identity and like face of the franchise, he's not fitting. He's not fitting. And if I were the owner, Woody Johnson, I would really consider pivoting. But I don't know all the behind the scenes stuff with that. Either way, it's making me think how AEW does not have an identity. They're lost. They're not as bad as the New York Jets. I think they're a good, like a decent wrestling promotion for sure. Like it's great that they're the second option, but there's so many questions left with this. Sorry to relate it to the Jets. I'm just been watching so much Jets content and they're so brutal. But no, I think they haven't recovered since Cody Rhodes left. Devin Dowling says that haven't recovered since CM Punk called them out. They haven't recovered since Cody Rhodes left, and so they still had Punk, and they still had Bryan Danielson, and they still had Adam Cole, still at like all at high levels. You still had Wardlow, but they did not take advantage of any of that. They flubbed all of it. They flubbed Wardlow. They flubbed like the Pinnacle. They flubbed like so many acts you can go through. And Claudio, he's still not like to a level that he should have been like when he first showed up. It's just a shame. And so nothing here has made me feel confident that AEW is going to make something feel more significant. Now, MJF could. Who's going to be his dance partner? That's good enough. You need to create new stars because so many of these athletes that you put on a position of being in the spotlight, and then you pull them back. All right, here's another thing that you put your athletes on at risk is the stupid high-risk maneuvers that always get criticized with AEW. And sometimes WWE even too. And, but like Moxley did, what was it? Like a reverse exploder suplex that had Kyle Fletcher up top and landed directly on his head. It looked really dangerous. It harkened back to the Braun Breaker spot at War Games as well. And Arn Anderson happened to mention it in a social media post about like how concerned he is for the well-being of a lot of wrestlers nowadays. He went out of his way to say this and make a comment about this. And then Kevin Nash noted about it too and agreed with Arn how dangerous it was. And Nash has been saying on his podcast, like it was Cody Rhodes that was taking German suplexes from Brock Lesnar, and he told Cody to not look behind him when you're doing those suplexes or whatever, and not that if you don't feel comfortable doing a German suplex, don't do a German suplex. And Nash also added that since the German suplex was introduced into wrestling as a prominent move, more injuries have occurred. And so I thought it was an egregious, and that was the highlight on social media because I watched at World's End this morning. I did not watch it live. So what I took note off of I mean, later on I got wind of MJF win the title and I was like, oh, good move. But like the talk on social media was that stupid suplex that Moxley and Fletcher did. It's pointless. It's so stupid. There's that will not resonate with me. That'll resonate with some dork fan perhaps. that loves all this kind of stuff. But even so, that's like such a niche of a niche of a niche that you have. Like, you're not adding any value to your product by doing something like that. They had that crowd hot before that move happened. They did. There was like a great Bulldog sleeper spot that Moxley had the crowd really fired up with. You could have ended the match there, too, to be honest. You really could have. And that move was so unnecessary. People already talked about this in the chat, but William Regal happened to be very vocal about this. Regal only was last online Christmas Eve to wish everybody a happy holidays, and then but like he's almost never online and never posts anything. But I'm going to read what Regal had to say about this because I thought it was great stuff, and many of his colleagues tweeted, including Matt Hardy retweeted it, Adam Pearce. This was like a cross promotion kind of thing that so many people agree on. He mentioned the Misawa dying from All Japan, and like how tragic that suplex ended his life. So he said, I thought it would stop this nonsense, but it's gotten worse whenever I talk to people about them doing it. It doesn't hurt. Believe me, it will. I have people close to me now, Brian Danielson being one, who is suffering daily like myself from his neck. It's a daily misery in sleep, and every other aspect of your life is more than hard. Although people use the term tough about me, you'll never hear me say that, as I'm not, and I don't think I am or have ever been. Money and whatever nonsense fame is supposed to be is not worth the pain or supposed to evening glory you get. I don't know what he means by that. To get from these ridiculous moves dropping yourself on your head. He goes on to say, I'm 57 and become relevant every day, but fame has never been my thing. So most of you doing this stupid stuff are not going to listen to me, but hopefully a few do. Stop it now if you want a decent quality of life after wrestling, because that part of your life will be over before you know it. And wrestling done right is hard enough, but broken necks or death are not something you should think is tough or cool. It's idiotic thinking. So, like I said, Regal never goes on social media and posts. So, when he says something like this, he really means it. And it's almost like swearing, when you pick and choose your moments to swear. Like if you're like a parent or something and you want to really hammer home the point to your kids, you pick and choose your moments, maybe when to swear at your kids and be like, whoa, he means business. She means business. Better listen. And so this is what Regal's version of that is, hey, I'm going to tweet something and say it. So hopefully this does resonate with the younger talent, because guess what? Yeah, drugs and the bumps themselves back in the day and the road, everything like that certainly came into play at shortening wrestlers' lives in the 80s, 70s, and even 90s and early 2000s. Now, it's the movesets you got to be concerned about. It's the arsenal that you pick. It's the dangerous spots that you do. That is going to be the sad detriment to a lot of wrestlers' careers and post-careers and just lives in general. This is a foreboding warning, a smart and foreboding warning by William Regal. And all wrestlers should take heed of what he has to say and apply it. You do not need these dangerous spots to get over. As a matter of fact, they're pointless. What is more attainable and appropriate is getting yourself over as a personality and your charisma over, because is what's going to make you money. And the more you do that, the less you have to do in the ring, and the fans will be even more happier because the product will be hot, because you are going to be a star if you handle yourself in the right manner. And it doesn't matter if you do an exploder suplex off the top rope to get a crowd pop for like 2 seconds that people are immediately going to forget about when it's all said and done. The only reason we're talking about it right now is because it's dangerous and because it's stupid. So there you go. Let's see. Yes, Devin also has. Why did Darby have a match? He was just literally in the hospital too. Yes, I think this was a pointless match. I didn't watch the match. I didn't, but like Gabe Kidd versus him, like there was no build to this. Nothing really felt that significant. I understand you want to have your stars on the show, but just pick and choose your moments. If Darby has not been on your television for weeks, there's no point to having him on there. It would seem to make more sense to put Eddie Kingston on the show rather than have Darby Allin on there. And that's no offense to Darby, but let's just brass tacks of the business here. Um, let's get some comments. Lots of people chiming in on here. Yeah, Fletcher and Hayter are lucky to be walking. It's such a dangerous, stupid thing to do. Um, yeah, blood not needed too. Too much blood. Again, if you bleed all the time, nobody's gonna care, and it just feels stupid and pointless, and it doesn't get anybody over when you do it so often. Wrestling Old Head says once you flood the program with big spots and blood constantly, you reach a ceiling, and it's have a hard time giving the bloodthirsty fans something to care about. Exactly. Wrestling Old Head also adds, dial it back and trickle it every once in a while, and they'll get some backlash from diehard fans, but long term, it's great for the wrestlers and the company overall. Yes, absolutely. Cammy says, you see the old timers who can't walk. Why isn't that a cautionary tale? That's right, Cammy. And like the other aspect of that too is they didn't do those kind of moves. They did some dangerous spots here and there, but it was the wear and tear of the road, the ring, the constant wrestling like that really did it. And they were more safe about some of this stuff. They protected themselves in as much as they could in the ring when it came to that stuff. So even the basic foundational formats of pro wrestling is still dangerous to do long term for your body. So imagine just doing stupid crap like what Moxley and Fletcher did. It's dumb. It's dog s dumb. Wrestling All That says if AEW keeps this pace, they'll push the wrestler to do something for a reaction that might be irreversible. If you know what I'm saying. Look. I hope that doesn't happen. But if you do not put like a what is it called? Like a cap on what these wrestlers are doing to themselves, you run that risk. You run that unfortunate, sad risk that could potentially happen. Look at the biggest star AEW has, Mercedes Moné. She does nothing in blood and guts like she didn't need to. Absolutely, she didn't need to. And yeah, they also had 100. Look at MJF and how over he is. Right? He gets it. He does all the Jackie Fargo, like the Fargo strut. He does like all these classic heel stuff. He's pulling back from yesteryear where people don't utilize it as what they should be doing. It's a shame. Just that's what would make it so much more intriguing. Get your personalities over. And that's why I'm saying put somebody like an Austin Gunn at the forefront here more because he's got a personality. And that's what you should be riding with if you're AEW. You got to get away from trying to impress all these people with move sets and everything like that. And I know Tony Khan's a big fan of the athleticism and everything. And that is certainly a part of the sport. But like really pick and choose your moments. Make you those wrestlers that, are good at it and you can maybe do it safe. And I'm just throwing it like Speedball Mike Bailey. I don't know how safe he is with it all, but he's definitely athletic, obviously. And he's hopefully he protects himself in certain manners, but like so many people take high risk maneuvers that are just pointless. I would get somebody like Crowbar as an advisor to your product. Crowbar is a physical therapist. Crowbar has prolonged his wrestling career into his 50s. And he still wrestles great. I just saw him at SummerSlam wrestle Effie in what was like somewhat of a brutal match because it was GCW because there was glass strewn around the ring, but that wasn't there. That was the match before. Like Crowbar wrestles a safe style, and somebody like Crowbar, if I were Tony Khan, I would get him in the mix and be like, okay, this is the moves you should not be doing. This is the moves you can be doing. Get yourself over in different manners. Like Crowbar does some impressive stuff for his age and does it safe. I'm going to make a clip of this and yes, I will make this suggestion online straight up. So that's what you should get. You got to get Crowbar in there. Jeff Henry says, how else are you supposed to get 7-star matches if somebody, it's ridiculous. It's people going by a match rating system. And even Meltzer said himself, like his rating system is just subjective. It's his decisions on how it is. Like for wrestlers to lean on, I want a 5-star match or I want, 7-star, 6, it's pointless. I do not care about 5-star matches. I care about and that's based off of ring quality and stuff like that and work quality. Look, I'll tell you what's a 5-star match is Rock versus Hogan, WrestleMania 18. That's a 5-star match to me. So, let's see. Devin says Crowbar's a great pool. Devin Storm's the best. Yes, he is. Wrestling Old Ed says I love Devin Storm and Ace Darling. Yep. I wonder what Christopher Nowinski thought about those spots. Yeah, I'm sure he did not like them. He just posted something online yesterday, like I think where he suffered his career-ending injury or got a really bad concussion. It was like a little video montage that he had. So, yeah, it's a lot of questions going on. All right, let's preview Raw real quick before we get out of here. Raw is hailing, I believe, from Orlando, Florida. Now, I'm going to be forthright. I don't know. Is this show taped or are they live? Because they were doing a holiday tour over the weekend. They were actually, WWE was in Pittsburgh. And I know on SmackDown, that's going to be live from Buffalo, but that's after the new year. So is this Raw pre-taped? Somebody can help me out. I kind of have a hunch that it is because it says The Vision, Paul Heyman, Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, Logan Paul, and Austin Theory are set to open the show. So I'm thinking that it is previously taped, but I'm not positive on that. Speaking of Austin Theory, we're going to have him go up against Rey Mysterio in singles action. I will also be forthright and say I did not watch Raw on Monday. It is live. Camby says it's live. So, okay. So Cammy says it's live. So it must be live then. Okay, good. Yeah, I did not watch Raw last week, so I did not catch the follow-up to the Austin Theory stuff, but it doesn't sound like it really hit that well from what I heard. You know, like, okay, he's part of the Vision. It's just a lot of stagnancy right now. Like, wrestling is kind of in a flat mode. I know it's the end of the year and everything, but it's just like, what's going on? What is Cena's gone? Who's the next stars coming up on the rise? Nothing feels like really in place right now. Nothing feels like a big deal. And yeah, I don't know if it's just that time of the year. I think it's a combo of both, to be honest. Like, there's just nothing happening. Here we go. Let's take a look. What else is on the tap here? We got the AEW World Tag Team Championships, Dragon Lee and AJ Styles. So maybe this will be intriguing. They're taking on the Usos. Like to see a good storyline ripple happen in this one, whether the Usos win or lose. Let's further something here with Jimmy and Jay. Maybe some heel turnish tendencies start to happen with Jay Uso after they lose, potentially, hypothetically, or whatever. And we'll see what happens there. WWE Women's World Championship is also on the line. It's Stephanie McCour, Nikki Bella, and Raquel Rodriguez in a triple threat match. Robert, I think, has said this before, but Stephanie McCour's run has been underwhelming, not because of her own volition, but what they've been doing with her and how they've been underutilizing her. So I like Raquel Rodriguez. I would almost put the title on Raquel tonight if I were them. Like, Raquel has kind of gotten a little bit of boost after what Kevin Nash had to suggest to her of wrestling more of a big man style, big woman style, if you will. And so, and she's been listening, she's been taking notes, and it's been helping her. And I think that's has helped kind of elevate her on the show a little bit and then put her in these positions. Give her the championship and let's see what she can do with it. Huh? I like that thought. So, is this for me? Who is this? Hello, and 1, 2, 3. Hello, hot dirty Dom. Is that me, or is he talking about Dom Mysterio? Because I thank you for that shout out there. Hot dirty Dom. Wow, I have not been called that. If that you're referring to me, but I've been called Clean Dom before, like the opposite of dirty Dom. But all right, trying to think if there's anything else. CM Punk and like I said, I liked the CM Punk promo from a couple weeks ago. And again, I don't know. Geez, I did not watch Raw, so I don't know how they followed up with it ultimately. But they got some work to do to make stuff feel intriguing. Now, next week will be the January 5th anniversary Netflix Raw, where they're collaborating with Stranger Things. So if you're a Stranger Things fan, it should be an equally fun show for you. And hopefully they make something really happen after this. Hopefully they build some stuff to create some intrigue for you to watch on January 5th. because that's the name of the game here. And that's the name of the game of this show. We cover the wrestling news every Monday through Friday here on a plethora of outlets, including the Ad-Free Shows YouTube channel, the At Rumor and Innuendo YouTube channel, the At Oh You Didn't Know YouTube channel. I also forgot to add the At Podcast Heat channel. So we're not live on there today. Dang it. Is that why we're missing some stuff? Dang it. I forgot. Damn it, Dom. And then we also are live on the WE Creative _ish X account, the At Dominic D'Angelo X account, the At SC Scoops X account, which I did not put on here either. Damn it, Dom. What is going on here? I thought I put everything on here. Dang it. I guess I didn't. But usually we'll be on a plethora of outlets. So, yes, I'm left to my devices today. So, as far as anything else goes, if you're tuning in the Podcast Heat YouTube channel, which you aren't because it's not on right now, but catch Nick Patrick live mailbag with Nick Patrick. Referee Nick Patrick is on Casio Kid. Such a fun show that those guys do. So help support them. Go to watch Podcast Heat Wrestling on YouTube. Subscribe to that and check them out. They're at 4 p.m. today. Also, as another reminder, check out me and Bill Acker are scheduled to go live tonight at 7 p.m. RVDTV.com. Check it out. It's going to be a fun episode as Bill and I chop it up, talk about some ECW stuff, RVD, some fun stories I'm sure in store tonight. And you can interact with us live, RVDTV.com. So join us right before Raw, as a matter of fact. So 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But thank you all for tuning in. I'm sure Robert will be back tomorrow. Happy belated birthday to Robert. He celebrated his birthday at World's End. He wasn't at World's End, but on the same day as that pay-per-view. So happy birthday to him. I saw a picture of him in Central Park, New York, in a snowy Central Park, New York. He had a sweet jacket on. So Robert was ready for the elements. All right. Thank you all for being with me, ready for the elements. I'll see you tomorrow here on Rumor and Innuendo. Best of luck in your future endeavors. And stay out of the wind, everybody. It is windy here in the Steel City of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Woo-wee.